What's up, people of YouTube? I'm Karsatowski and welcome to the Karsatowski Eats YouTube channel. So, as you have already seen by the title and thumbnail, today I am going to be ranking every single Feastables bar that has ever been made, or that's at least currently released in the store. There are a total of 9 bars that I have found, and comment down below if there's any that I missed. So let's just go ahead and get straight into it. So the first bar that we have that I am randomly grabbing out of this pile of Feastable bars is the dark chocolate sea salt. Now, some of you who know me personally, dark chocolate, in my opinion, is the best chocolate. You're welcome. You milk chocolate people out there, you're just all kind of plain and, you know, you don't know it's good. Yeah, dark chocolate is a little bit bitter, but guess what? It's my favorite, I'm sticking with it. All right, yeah. They don't call it dark chocolate for nothing. Look at that. Right there. Yeah, got the upside down Feastables logo right over there. This right here is probably, in my opinion, about the best presentable chocolate bar overall. Just in my opinion. All right, so I'm gonna do just a little teeny tiny taste with each bar. I've got 9 chocolate bars, so there's really no need in like eating half of it. So I'm just gonna eat one of these little squares up here for each one. This tastes just like, and I mean, it literally tastes just like if you had pretzels covered in dark chocolate. That is exactly what this bar tastes like. Yeah, that doesn't disappoint. Now, I think dark chocolate is probably one of the better chocolates to actually bake with because it's not overly sweet, and you can just add a little bit of sugar to whatever recipe you're making, like for brownies and whatnot. I usually like to make brownies using dark chocolate and put a little bit of sugar added to the actual dark chocolate cocoa, and it's really good. Yeah, a lot of people for some reason don't like dark chocolate too much. They just think it's a little bit too bitter, but honestly, I think it's the best one. And it doesn't, to me, the dark chocolate doesn't taste like it's got a bunch of chemical residue like a lot of the milk chocolate does. But I don't know if that's for everybody, but it is just for me. But this right here, I'm gonna say it right now, it's one of my favorite ones. So all these other 8 have their work cut out for them. So dark chocolate sea salt, absolutely excellent. All right, now for the next one, we have the peanut butter. Now, peanut butter becoming these nuts or something like that, or it could have even been copyrighted. I'm not sure what came out of that, but that's hilarious to me that they had to change the name from these nuts to just regular old peanut butter. And there you go. Kind of like of what Reese's would look like if it was made into a Feastables bar. But let's see if it tastes as good as a Reese's or better. Wow. I mean, that tastes just like one of those really thin Reese cups, like the real thin ones that are about that thin. Yeah, and also the texture is a lot softer. Now, all of these have been sitting in a Walmart bag in room temperature for a couple days. So they're all room temperature, but the difference in the texture between the dark chocolate sea salt and the peanut butter is completely night and day. Like, the dark chocolate is completely solid when you bite into it. And this, it has pretty much the same texture as a room temperature Reese cup. I mean, pretty much to the exact texture to it. And it tastes just like a Reese cup too. So I guess they got a little inspiration for Reese's when they made the peanut butter, which I think is a smart move, to be honest with you. All right, now we're on to the almond flavor. Gotta have some nuts. Actually, you know what? I think the almond was actually called these nuts, now that I think about it. I don't know which one it was, but it was either the almond or it was the peanut butter that was these nuts, but still. Actually, I personally wish that they would have just stuck with these nuts, but I guess that there was just some lawsuit with it, but oh well. Almond. I wonder if this tastes like an Almond Joy. Yeah, you can see all the little almond pieces sticking to the chocolate. That's a real good sign when you can see that. All right, so let's see how the almond tastes. Okay. The texture of this is, it's more a lot more crunchy than peanut butter. I think the base for the peanut butter and the almond are both milk chocolate. They both pretty much have the exact same texture as far as the chocolate goes, but the crunchiness of the almonds really add a little bit more depth and layer to it. And I gotta say, a lot of my chocolate bars, I really do prefer if there are nuts in it. It's just nuts and chocolate go by really well. Nuts usually don't go too good, in my opinion, with a lot of baked goods, because having a solid object into something that's supposed to be like basically bread, it's not a good texture to me. But almonds inside of chocolate is like the perfect chef's kiss. So I'm pretty impressed so far with these 3 flavors of Feastables. So Jimmy, if you're watching this video, which I'm sure you are eventually, you're 3 for 3 right now, in my opinion. You're in the green right now. But let's see if we can maintain that with partnering with good old-fashioned cookies and cream. Now, let's be honest. It's just Oreo flavor. Like, I guess Oreo is just copyrighted, so anything that is made with Oreos in it has to be called cookies and cream. So, yeah, this is basically Feastables Oreo flavor. And look at what we got right here. This reminds me of Easter right here. Of those cookies and cream or Oreo chocolate bunnies. I bet this is gonna taste just like one of those chocolate bunnies with a little white chocolate with it. You know, you know what? I love Oreos. Like, they're Milk's favorite cookie for a reason. But for some reason, every time when a company tries to incorporate cookies and cream in anything, in my opinion, it just kind of falls flat. Like, this essentially tastes like all of those cookies and cream bunnies that I eat well, I don't eat them anymore, but I would get those in Easter, and they would always last for like several months on end because they were my least favorite chocolate that I would get. Yeah, I mean, nothing really too positive to say about this. I just think the cookies and cream is kind of a letdown, honestly. So, actually, Jimmy, if you're watching this, yeah, you kind of hit a little bit of a stinker with this one, but not all of them could be that good. All right, so we are halfway home right now, and now we're going to a flavor that I actually did not even know that existed until I did the last video, which was Lunchly versus Lunchables, and that is the Milk Crunch. So this, from what I tried last time, is clearly a knockoff of the classic Crunch Bar that is famously packaged with all of the Lunchables lunches. And I did not even know this existed until I had put one of these in my mouth. I just didn't read the label, and it was basically a MrBeastified or Feastables-fied, or yeah, MrBeastified sounds better. MrBeastified Crunch Bar. So let's see if it's as good as it. Let's see if the larger ones are as good as the miniature ones. Oh, who will buy down? No. It took a little bit too big of a bite on that one, but so I think that Crunch Bars are criminally underrated. Like, how many people do you hear on the street talk about a Crunch Bar? None. It's all Snickers and Paydays, and now Reese's came out with their own Crunch Bar type snack. But you know, a regular Crunch Bar that comes with Lunchables, I put that against any other chocolate bar on the market. I mean, criminally, absolutely criminally underrated. Who would have thought that putting Rice Krispies into a chocolate bar would be one of the best tasting chocolate bars on the planet? Why don't you go get a Feastables Milk Crunch Bar and then get an actual Crunch Bar and just eat them together, and they basically are exactly the same. But Crunch Bar is just a good old Crunch Bar to me. So that has to be one of my favorites, absolutely. And now we get to most people's favorites, I'm sure, is the milk chocolate. Now, milk chocolate is like the classic chocolate, and this is clearly what MrBeast is up against for Hershey's. And Hershey's milk chocolate, as you all know, is honestly not really that great. And I do prefer Feastables over Hershey's, but I just think milk chocolate, you should really only eat milk chocolate, in my opinion, if it is like a, if it's in something. Like, I just don't think you need to eat it that much alone, but I'm gonna see how an actual Feastables milk chocolate bar tastes. Yeah. Get all over my hands too. It's not like several tiers higher than a milk chocolate Hershey's bar, but I think that Feastables did exactly what it intended on doing and actually being better than Hershey's, which is their main competitor going into the chocolate business. So I definitely think they've come up with a good milk chocolate recipe to compete. And you know what? I think over the summer, I'm going to use that as my main s'mores ingredient. So Feastables milk chocolate, I think you have fulfilled your goal of actually beating Hershey's. So good job on that. Little golf clap for you. All right, now let's go ahead and go on to the regular dark chocolate. Now, dark chocolate, as I mentioned before, is one of my absolute favorites. And yeah, I mean, I like to make brownies with it. Again, I don't even mind that it's all bitter. The first one that I tried was the dark chocolate with sea salt in it, which is basically dark chocolate covered pretzels. As you can see here, real deep, rich, dark chocolate right over here, all the way around. So let's see if dark chocolate is actually better than the sea salt. Wow. You know what? It's the same texture because for some reason the dark chocolate is a lot more solid as compared to the literally everything else. But you know what? I think I might slightly prefer the dark chocolate over the sea salt. Yeah, I'd like to have the like salty taste with the sea salt because again, it's basically pretzels covered in dark chocolate. But you know, I kind of prefer just the straight up dark chocolate. You can eat an entire bar as it is plain, or you could just like throw it in a batter someplace and just like make a dark chocolate sauce if you want to. So very solid dark chocolate, absolutely. Now, I kind of made a mistake here, and for some reason, I had actually bought another Milk Crunch, so I've only got 7 here. So I think I did miss one. There might only be 7 flavors, I think. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my rankings now. So at number 7, and in my opinion is like a 4 out of 10, it would have to be the cookies and cream. Now, yeah, again, not much to say about cookies and cream. Now, I have nothing against Oreos at all. Oreos plain is a really great snack on the go, and then Oreos and milk is just literal S tier in snacks. But for some reason, whenever they try to put it into any kind of chocolate, it just falls completely flat on its face for some reason. Like it's just not that good. Like, I don't know how they manage to constantly make really bad chocolate out of cookies and cream. So if Feastables ever drafts a flavor in favor for another flavor that they decide to add to their lineup, then this one will have to go like 4 out of 10 easy. All right, now I would have to say at number 6, with the rating of a 6.5 out of 10, it would have to be the peanut butter. Now, the peanut butter is pretty good. The reason that it's ranked so low compared to all of these bars is, in my opinion, it's just not quite as good as a Reese cup. Like, it basically has the exact same formula as a Reese's, but you know what? It's just not giving me that vibe of a normal Reese's. Like, I want a Reese's that I can just like put in the fridge, and it's just one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth afterwards. This, I feel like if I put in the refrigerator for a little bit like I would for a Reese's, it just wouldn't really hold up its flavor too well. And just for whatever reason, this one's a little bit lacking. I mean, it's still a 6.5 out of 10, which is definitely way better than the cookies and cream, but overall, it's gonna have to go at number 6 on our list. All right, now at number 5 on our list, in my opinion, with a respectable 7 out of 10, it would have to be the milk chocolate. Now, the milk chocolate, obviously, I don't like near as good as like the dark chocolate. This definitely, though, beats out Hershey's, which I think is what Feastables intended to do in the first place. Because if they can beat out Hershey's with their milk chocolate, then they can pretty much take on the entire chocolate market. So this is really the flavor that has kind of launched them into the stratosphere that they're at right now. So, you know what? Milk chocolate is a solid flavor, and it's comfortably at number 5 on our list. All right, now for the number 4 pick, right in the middle at a 7.5 out of 10, would have to be the almond. Now, I really love almonds and peanuts and whatever else they put into candy bars. I just love this in a lot of candy bars. Like, it's just literally a match made in heaven. And the almonds are a really good choice, because almonds by themselves are like real good, buttery, smooth tasting nuts or whatever. I don't know how to describe an almond to someone who's never had one before, or someone who's allergic to it. But you know what? Almonds are a very solid like tree nut, and they just go wonderful in any kind of chocolate bar. And in Feastables, with its clean ingredients and its recipes, this is just like one of the best things that you can have for, you know, almond candies. So definitely almonds, Feastables, I highly recommend that for sure. All right, now for number 3 at a solid 8 out of 10, it would have to be the dark chocolate sea salt. Now, I've said that dark chocolate is definitely my favorite flavor of chocolate, But really the thing that drags this one a little bit down is the actual sea salt. For me personally, there seems to be a little bit too much for my liking in here. I really like just a little hint of sea salt, but it kind of feels like there's almost like this much of sea salt. So like maybe 3 times more salt than it really needs to be, but this is still definitely solid and better than pretty much any other chocolate brand that I've had. So comfortably at number 3 is dark chocolate sea salt. And now for the top 2. And at number 2 with a 9 out of 10, it would have to be Milk Crunch. Again, Crunch Bar, absolutely underrated. I do not know why people just do not replace like the Payday or even a Snickers with a Crunch Bar. Like, Crunch Bar can beat out a Snickers any day. I mean, what does a Snicker have? Well, I guess it's got caramel and stuff, so it has more than that, but Milk Crunch has Rice Krispies to it. So you know what? Put this into your Halloween candy for this upcoming Halloween as opposed to a Snickers and a Payday. And I'm sure all the kids will get a big kick out of that. So at number 2, Milk Crunch is definitely the second best flavor of Feastables, in my opinion. And now, unsurprisingly, the number 1 pick for me at a solid 9.5 out of 10, it is the dark chocolate. I mean, this is almost a 10 out of 10. The only reason that this is not a 10 out of 10 for me is I feel like I can only have like one of these before I'm pretty much good. I like to eat a lot of my candy in moderation. The older that I get, I just don't necessarily like to eat a lot of candy bars, but dark chocolate is really the thing that keeps me eating chocolate in the first place. I mean, dark chocolate anything, in my opinion, is like 10 times escalated for anything that's milk chocolate. So dark chocolate is my absolute favorite flavor of Feastables. And if you have never tried dark chocolate, then go to Walmart today and just find you some Feastables dark chocolate, and I guarantee, well, I can't guarantee you that you're gonna love it, but I'm sure you'll have a much better respect for it after today's video. All right, so that is my ranking of the 7 flavors of Feastables that I have. I think I did miss one of them. So if I did miss one of them, I think I might actually review that one later with, I hope they release new flavors soon, because I really want them to experiment a little bit more with different exotic flavors of Feastables. And I feel like they should go up to like maybe at least a full dozen to kind of cover all their bases. So anyway, Feastables is a very good chocolate brand, obviously by MrBeast, aka Jimmy Donaldson. And overall, it's definitely the fastest growing chocolate brand that started up over the last several years here, few years really. So just go to Walmart and buy you some Feastables. I guarantee you, you'll love them. Anyway, so if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you give this video a like. And also, if you guys are new and have never subscribed to this YouTube channel, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you will never miss any of my videos. So, I'm Karsatowski, keep watching my content, and I'll see you in that next video. See ya!